far from reducing desperation to the psychophysiological phenomenon of vision from which he derives it, even if, as we shall see, perception does not constitute a random example of it, Simondon extends it to all individuation, to any production of existence on whatever scale one is situated, physical signal, living being, collective body, idea, any singularity is produced through problematic desperation. Following Kant, Simondon thus elevates the problematic to the dignity of the condition of emergence of a difference, obvious sense. What is at stake, Deleuze observes, is an objective category of knowledge and a perfectly objective kind of being, and not a fleeting uncertainty. This category of the problematic acquires in Simondon's thought tremendous importance insofar as this category is endowed with an objective sense. It no longer designates a provisional state of our knowledge, but a moment of being. Deleuze appropriates this analysis as a fecund method that facilitates the thinking of productive difference by avoiding what he judges to be unacceptable in the Hegelian dialectic, the motor role of the negative, the primacy of opposition, and the resolution of difference by means of a dialectic that produces the identity of difference and of identity, at the very place where Deleuze is seeking to affirm difference. The conflict, the incompatibility of two retinal images, for example, thought as desperation, is difference and not opposition, and it is resolved through construction, the creation of a new dimension, through affirmation and not negation. Thus, the idea of desperation is more profound than the idea of opposition. And, in Simondon's dialectic, the problematic replaces the negative. What interests Deleuze is the primacy of disparateness in relation to opposition. Deleuze specifies this in the second note that he devotes to Simondon. In the first note he does refer to Simondon, but in the midst of development critiquing the great and the small, on the importance of disparate series and their internal resonance in the constitution of systems, see Gilbert Simondon. But, he adds, however, Simondon maintains as a condition the requirement of resemblance between series, or the smallest of differences in play. Here, it is a question of a side of theoretical divergence between Deleuze and Simondon that, as we have seen, does not exclude their points of convergence. Simondon's influence is much more important than explicit commentaries on difference and repetition allow, and in according desperation the status of a theoretical alternative to opposition. Deleuze implicitly recognizes it. For the dialectic, in the sense of a Hegelian dialectic, defined as a contradiction that is resolved through the work of the negative, is, for Deleuze, the overt theoretical adversary. Deleuze refuses to allow that the relation is changed through opposition. He refuses the logical and real process of overcoming the negative. As he understands very well, pluralism sometimes has a dialectical appearance, but he adds that it is the profound enemy. Here, Deleuze's fundamental inspiration is Spinozist: the negative does not exist, only affirmation has ontological reality. He adds, with Nietzsche, that affirmation is the affirmation of its difference. If Deleuze plays Nietzsche off Hegel, it is because, in Nietzsche, the essential relation of one force to another is never conceived of as a negative element in the essence. In its relation with other, the force which makes itself obeyed does not deny the other or that which it is not, it affirms its own difference. Deleuze situates his thought in a generalized anti-Hegelianism. Difference and repetition have taken the place of the identical and the negative, of identity and contradiction. For difference implies the negative and allows itself to lead to contradiction, only to the extent that its subordination to the identical is maintained. For Deleuze, Hegelian logic remains a false movement, that is, it remains at the level of mediation posited as the movement of the concept, also indicating by this opposition the proximity of his own theoretical engagement to that of Hegel.